Hi everybody, welcome to Navigating for Success, making a success out of your life. I'm Moss Jackson and this is my colleague Becky Scott.
And we're your Navigating for Success coaches.
And in our first YouTube video, we talked about how are people going through life. Are you going through life as a navigator, a survivor, or a victim? I think we also talked a little bit about navigators having a formula for success, knowing where they're going, knowing the actions to take, and being able to be persistent and be resilient. And we also talked about a number of skills, although we didn't go into depth about what are the skills. So we want to follow up that conversation with an extremely important conversation about GPS. You know, Becky, I went on a trip once out to the West Coast, and in those days we had maps. Remember those days of maps?
I do.
I tell you the truth, I really love those big
lap.
maps. But now we have something called GPS. You basically plug in your destination, and somehow from the satellites they guide us to our destination. So the external roadmap for success has to do with knowing what you want, knowing the actions you need to take to get there, and having the skill sets to move. That's how you operate in the real world, the world of business, the world of relationships. But we live in another world. Besides out here, we live 24/7 in our internal world. And I think, Becky, there's a GPS in our internal world. What do you think of that?
Oh, I absolutely think that there's a GPS in our internal world. And I think it's led by our captain.
Captain? What do you mean by captain?
The captain is the person who's in charge of all the other voices that are in our heads on a daily basis.
Okay, so Becky, do you have a captain that speaks to you on a regular basis?
I do have a captain.
Let's tell our audience what your captain's voice is.
My captain is very strong and steady and encourages me to continue doing what I'm doing in a very stable, methodical kind of way. Do you have a captain, Moss?
You know, I love my captain. I've always loved my captain. I think my captain showed up when I was 7. My mother didn't like my captain. I think my captain was Marco Polo, which my Marco Polo voice basically was, go out there and explore the world and have a good time. Go for the adventure.
Go for the adventure. So I bet that brought around some interesting other voices, because we don't only have a captain's voice.
Oh, okay.
So we have positive voices and we have negative voices. And they relate very clearly to the angel and the devil that might be present. Or as we're using in this analogy, the mutinous crew and the ally crew. My most outstanding negative voice would probably be the doubting Debbie voice.
Okay, good. So not good enough, you can't do it.
Exactly.
You don't know enough.
Exactly. Do you have a negative voice, a devil voice?
I wish I had a doubter. It might keep me out of trouble. I think one of my mutinous voices is my reckless Ricky. My reckless Ricky just says, be impulsive, just go for it, don't even talk to anybody about it, be a lone wolf. And as a result, when I listen to reckless Ricky, and reckless Ricky takes over my ship from the captain, my boat hits the rocks. I can create roadkill. I can create problems.
Not so good. But I bet you have a positive voice that can come in and counterbalance.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
If you're aware of it.
Yeah.
And utilize it.
Well, given our work, Navigating for Success, we spent a lot of time helping people identify these internal voices, the good voices, the bad voices, the ally voices, the mutinous voices. My ally voice, one of my key ally voices, I'm going to call him Thomas Jefferson, the voice of reason. And he says to me, pause, take your time, take a breath, think it out, and talk it out.
This is fascinating, because one of my positive voices is cheerleader Sherry.
Okay.
And she's rallying me on. She has got the pom-poms going and motivating me, pushing me, sometimes pulling me forward, because there's a deep part of me that wants to keep moving forward.
Okay.
And that's how it expresses itself.
So Becky and I are probably thinking the similar thought. Tell me if I'm on track with this. That each of you have a direction you want to get to. You have a goal you want to reach. And hopefully you have a map. But most of you don't have a roadmap for success. That's what we do. We teach you your roadmap to success. And many of you don't know your internal voices. You just have a lot of chatter. But in our program, we teach you to identify your captain's voice, your ally voices, your mutinous voices, and how to keep the mutinous voices under control, because they're not going to jump ship and you can't get rid of them. So, if our audience wants to find out more about Navigating for Success, what could they do?
We are going to invite you to our website to take a survey, which will help you understand how you operate in the world. Through a simple 5-minute free survey, you'll have the opportunity to understand whether you are operating mostly as a victim, survivor, or navigator in the world. This is very valuable information.
Yeah, it is.
In addition, it's going to help our viewers understand what success factors they're employing in their lives.
Well, what we've given you in this video and our first one is the roadmap to success. How do people go through life? How are you going through life? Navigator, victim, survivor. We've talked about the roadmap. We talked about today the GPS, the internal voices, the captain, the allies, the mutinous crew. So we've laid a foundation for you, but we haven't given you really the skills. We haven't given you the toolbox. So take a deep breath, because what we're going to offer you now in the next couple of our videos is some very specific skills, some specific tools from the toolkit. We as coaches help you create your roadmap for success, and we help guide you to make sure you succeed in the direction you want to go in. Besides our coaching program, we have a seminar called the Navigating for Success Seminar. And in our program, what can we expect our audience to get from that seminar?
Oh, our attendees have a wonderful day full of creating a roadmap for themselves out of their passions.
Mm-hmm.
They learn about the internal voices that they have that could provide obstacles or motivation to attaining those goals. And then we explore the success factors that are necessary for achieving success. And we look at which of those you're strong in and which of those you're weaker in, and give you tools to build up those success factors.
And for those of you who like to read, check out my book, Navigating for Success. You can get it on Amazon, or there's information on the screen that you can use to get our book. Glad to get it to you. Give us a call. Love to talk to you about our coaching and other programs. And until we meet again, happy navigating. Live a successful life.
Thanks for watching.